Welcome back. Today we're going to talk a little bit about supplementary angles. Now, yesterday we learned about complementary angles, where they share the same vertex and you had two angles that formed a 90-degree turn or a 90-degree angle. Today we're going to talk about supplementary angles. Now, supplementary angles are basically two angles that share a vertex that equal 180. Now, last week we learned that 180-degree angle is called a straight angle. So basically a supplementary angle are two or more angles that basically come together and form a straight angle or can equal that 180. So we're just going to look at a couple of different examples. So first of all, we're going to start out with our straight angle because we know it has to equal 180 degrees. Then we're just going to come up here. And this is C, and we'll call this D. All right, so there's your points. We know this is 180. And if we're given this arc or angle here, and we know this is 39 degrees, basically they're going to want us to find this unknown angle. So again, just like in the complementary angles video, we talked about part whole. You're going to be using part whole again, but your whole this time is going to be 180 instead of 90. So you know that your whole must equal 180 degrees, and they've given you part of 39 degrees, and you're trying to find this other part. Now, when you get into higher grades, you may see that there's an angle going here, an angle going there, and you may have to find there might be part whole or part whole. So you just never know how many parts you're going to have, but you know a supplementary angle is they all share the same vertex, but they're going to all add together to equal 180. So we have our 180 here, and our part of 39, again, I'm just going to come over here and do 180. That's my total. When I'm looking for that other part, I know I'm subtracting, so I take and minus the 39. More on the floor, go next door. My 0 becomes a 10, and my 8 becomes a 7. 10 minus 9 is 1. 7 minus 3 is 4. And 1 minus nothing is 1. So now I know that my angle here is 141 degrees. So when you see it like this, it may say angle ABC is equal to 39 degrees. And it may say, what is angle CB? D. So if you'll notice that anytime it asks you if you're looking for an angle, that vertex, see how they share that same vertex of point B? Because that's where the vertex, that's where that line's moving back and forth at this one point. So now we can fill in that question mark of CBD is equal to 141 degrees. Okay, so that's one way that you might see it. Another way you may see it is something like this. You've got your straight angle. Let's see. And this one may say 128 degrees. And it say A. Maybe it's B, C, D. But it may end your answers or on your practice page, a test, something like that. It may say find angle A. So it may say find angle A. Again, we're going to just use part whole. You've got your whole of 180, because remember, A straight angle is 180, so that's our whole. And then we know that part of it is 128 degrees. Again, all we're going to do is subtract my whole of 180 minus the part of 128. More on the floor, go next door, borrow 10 more. My 0 becomes a 10, my 8 becomes a 7. 10 minus 8 is 2. 7 minus 2 is 5, and 1 minus 1 is 0. Now I'm not going to put the 0 in there just for the placeholder because I know that my angle is equal to 52 degrees. So now you can come up here and say angle A equals 52 degrees. So those are just two different examples of finding supplementary angles. I don't think it's hard at all, and I don't think you'll have a problem doing the practice page that's on Google Classroom that Ms. Dyer assigned. It's just like finding the unknown angle. It's just like finding the complementary angle, but just know that a supplementary angle must equal 180 degrees and a complementary angle equals 90 degrees. The Math Antics video on basic angles is also a good video to always refer back to as far as learning the angles, the obtuse, acute, right angles, and the measurements of them. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email Ms. Dyer.